Welcome to Soul Rising. We're your hosts, Amy and Erin. We're two everyday mediums who are passionate about taking the woo-woo out of spirituality and bringing it down to earth. So put the kettle on, grab a chair, and join us.
Hi, you guys.
Hello, everyone. It's episode 52 of Soul Rising Podcast.
52.
Video.
Sorry. I don't know what that was. It's fine.
It's okay. You guys are used to us by now.
Yeah, welcome to the madness.
Welcome to the shit show. It reminds me of that thing that I posted that I tagged you in last night.
you did.
You guys are like, what is that, the Tilt-A-World or something? And they were like dancing on the middle of it, trying to maintain a sense of control.
Yeah, literally how I feel. It's really, really accurate.
Yeah. So today we're just here to do, I shouldn't say we're just here to do anything. We're here to do an update.
Yeah. Because we know you guys like our conversations, and if you want a little, we haven't caught up either. So welcome. This is our catch up and
recording our chats. It's been especially busy for a lot of us. We're not complaining. It's a good thing. But we started to record monthly, batch recording. So we really only get to hang out once a month. So there's lots of things to update. So so let's do that today.
Do you want to start us off, Amy? Because I don't know where I would go. I don't know where I would start right now.
Yeah, I can.
How are you? How have things been? Yeah.
I've been good. I got a haircut. Those of you on YouTube can see I got my haircut last night.
We should have did that the first episode we did, but
that's okay. Funny enough, because we didn't talk about because we
you had a story
about manifestation. Yeah. So I have for the past week or so, randomly throughout the day, I'll be like, I should get my hair cut. It just keeps popping into my head, and I'm like, I don't know where that's coming from. So those of you that have been with us for a while, my hair's been long for a couple years. My hair was about where it is now. So those of you listening, my hair's kind of shoulder length right now. It was there when COVID began, when the first lockdown happened, and then I literally went 2 years without a haircut. So my hair was very long. It grows pretty long. It was
you had long hair,
a very long hair.
Yeah.
And then I got it trimmed a little bit more. And then last night I was sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this week I'm like, I want a haircut, but then I was thinking to myself, no, because I pre-booked an appointment for a couple days before Christmas with my stylist to go and get my foils done again in my hair. And so I'm like, I can wait 5 weeks. I don't need to be impulsive and get my hair cut. But I kept thinking, so I got an itchy nose. I kept thinking about it, kept popping in my head, and I'm like, why? And then yesterday, it was very much a mood, treat yourself mood, cards that I was pulling, conversations I was having with people, was all about wanting to do something for yourself. And I was like, this is interesting. It's a whole mood. Maybe there's a reason. So I said to myself, okay, I am going to because my salon has an online booking, a bit you can online book. So I went on and I was like, if my stylist has something available today, I'm going to take it as a sign
that I'll go and
get my haircut. And so, she did. And she was like, I was shocked to see your name come in. That was a cancellation. And I was like, stop. So anyways, I was like, okay, it's a sign. It's time to go get my hair.
Does she know you're a medium?
Yeah. We didn't talk about it last night, but I'm pretty, she does. We've talked about that before.
Because I was like, that's a pretty
I manifested the hair. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Yeah. I thought it was interesting that I was like, there's something with cutting hair. I don't know. For me, whenever I'm going through something, I cut my hair. I've noticed that in the past. I'm not going through anything negative right now, but I definitely feel as if I'm leveling up in some way. Shifting, something is happening. I've always been kind of impulsive with my hair, so I'll cut bangs, or I'll go for pixie cut. I've had pixie cut before. There's something with, and I don't want to generalize and say women in their hair, but a lot of the women I know will do something to our hair, it's almost like an energetic thing. Do you ever have you ever been like that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think too, what especially when I was younger with relationships, if like a relationship ended or
You can over hair.
yeah,
Cut it
I'd
off,
dye it, or I would be like,
right.
I'm gonna, change things up a little bit. Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe
There's
you're right. There's something to that, like a shift, or you're like,
well, I think it does. And then somebody said, I was talking to somebody in my DMs last night, and she complimented my hair, and then we were chatting, and we were talking about how much, like,
yeah,
I was like, it's funny because yesterday was hair wash day, and I was like, do I want to wash my hair? I hate washing my hair. Or do I just want to go to the salon?
I know, it's such a chore, right? Like yesterday I was like, oh, I got to do it before
it's hair wash
work.
day. I know. It's like, yeah, it's
If I
like
don't wash
men
my
don't get it.
hair before work, I'm not going to want to do, and I need to wash my hair
You
before
won't.
tomorrow so that I don't have to do it tomorrow. I was like,
Right.
it's a big
Men
thing.
don't get it. It's a whole ordeal for
No,
us.
look at
Yeah, well, my hair was that long
you
too.
have
Like
thick hair
yesterday,
too.
and it was heavy, and like I have very thick hair, and I use like special shampoo because of the color. So it's like a whole like
it's a process.
system.
It's a process.
It's a process, and then you gotta like I allow myself to air dry a little bit, and then I blow dry, and it's like a 2-hour process for the whole thing. And I'm like, do I want to spend 2 hours of my day doing my hair? No.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we were joking about that, and then this person I was talking to was like, there's such an energy thing, like when I wash my hair though too, like something energetically happens. So I was like, I never really thought about that before. But then it got me thinking even to like different like indigenous cultures and things like that. Like if you were to cut your hair off, it's always symbolic,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So it got me kind of thinking about that. So yeah, new hair, new me, I
new
guess.
Hair, new year.
So
we're about to go into 2023, like not too long
and for
now.
me and you, like you're at the very end of the year and I'm at the very beginning of the year, but birthdays are coming up, so I'm going to be a whole new age soon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sometimes do you ever forget what age you are? Sometimes I forget. Like somebody will be like, how old are you? And I'm like, 30. No, wait, I'm 32. Or like sometimes
the nice thing with you, well, you and I, because we're both born on a year that ends with a 0, right? So I was always like, oh, it's so easy to calculate, right?
Oh yeah, I know, like I know, like in 1990 I was a year old.
Right, the end of 90 though.
The end of 90.
You were born in 89. Yeah, that's right, but it was the very end of 89.
The end of 90. Yeah, I would be.
The end of 90 you were born?
No, the end of 89.
The end of 89.
Yeah, so
yes.
No, just right.
When is your birthday?
I can't do math, you guys. Don't.
Because we are 10 years apart. But I was born at the very beginning of a year and the very beginning of a decade, and you were born at the very end of a year.
No. You're right. 1991, I would have been a year.
Okay.
Yeah. Not 1990. I have to, I'm so sorry.
And I was 10 in 1990.
Alex was yelling at me the other day too, because I was like, no, we're giving people like 3 months. He goes, Erin, calculate October for the wedding, like for wedding invites and stuff. He goes, we sent it out October, November. You know what I mean? I was like, oh.
That reminds me, I need to respond to your.
You're right.
I will make a note right now. Respond.
It's okay. We're. It's just, I'm like, not a lot of people have. No. But we have a few people that have responded, but I am still waiting on some. So don't worry. It's not just you. I'm sending out an email next week about wedding stuff. I haven't even really, people are like, oh, you must be so busy planning for the wedding. I'm like, you know what? I haven't really thought about it since I sent out the invitations.
I think that's good though.
I think so too. I think that's not like a big
thing. So we got engaged in January and got married in August. So there's only 8 months, sorry. But for me, it was like, I don't know. I didn't put I was not a bridezilla. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I was like, I asked my mother-in-law, can we get married in your backyard? Okay, cool. Like, it was just like, it was like that.
It happened. Yeah.
I went and I did dress shopping like 2 weeks after we got engaged. And, like I had a certain look that I wanted. I was trying on dresses, and then the person that was helping me, she was like, try this one on next. And I was like, I did not put this in the pile. But I tried it on, I instantly welled up, and then I came out, my mom started crying, my sister started, I'm like, okay, I guess this is the one.
This is it.
But that, like, I wouldn't have chosen. And you know what? The beautiful thing about that might have been a little bit of manifestation too, or like some synchronistic, beautiful universal gift, because that dress had just gone on to like a sale rack. And can I just tell you, like, I hope this doesn't, like, if you paid a lot for your dress, you might be like, shit, Amy, don't tell me this.
No, we got married at different times. Things cost a lot more right now.
Right. Like, this was 10 years ago, but this dress was something like $2,000. It was like marked down to $1,000. It was marked down to $400. And she said, if you take it today, I'll give it to you for $325. And I did not need one alteration on the dress. Not even one. I was like, what?
Did I buy the wrong dress?
No, but that was just some weird thing. No, like, it was the right day at the right time. Everything. Like, it was really weird. Like, it was a $2,000 dress. I think dresses are more than that even now. Like, I know my sister paid more than that. She got married in 2016.
Thankfully, I have not. But when you get alterations and stuff, I did not realize how much alterations cost. I was like, this is like buying a whole new dress, almost.
What is the back of your dress like? Do you have a corset, buttons? Like, what's going on with the back of your dress? Or do you not want to reveal it?
I think we can talk about it because Alex doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right? I don't think he listens to it. Okay. I don't know. Watch.
Alex, this is your warning. Turn
don't
off.
Listen. You want to be surprised. I know you do. So just turn this off. He's not home actually right now, so I can't talk about it. But I actually have a bow in the back.
Right.
It's a giant.
And I wasn't sure like how it did up.
Yeah. And the bow comes off too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's kind of fitted. It's a little bit fitted with the bodice. And it's fitted a little bit. And then it kind of, not like a mermaid, but it kind of goes out a little bit. Not a ton. Does it go out? I don't.
It's exciting.
Kind of.
Mine
a little
was
bit.
A corset in the back, so it like had the
Yes.
tie.
Yeah.
And you know what the funny thing is? Like, I really wasn't a bridezilla. My photographer actually said to me, she's like, Amy, you weren't a bridezilla at all, were you? I'm like, no, why? And she's like, because like my sister did up the back, but she did up the back like you're supposed to go.
Oh, the way that it wasn't
you're
done
supposed
upright?
to go from the top to the bottom. She went from the bottom to the top. And I was like, I don't care. But I didn't even care. I just was like, let's get this thing done. We've been together for 8 years.
You were just ready. You were just like,
ready. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being a bridezilla, by the way. I don't care.
No, I don't think so. There's things,
in a negative way. Yeah.
Yeah. There's things that I've been like a little bit bridezilla-y, but I don't think it's a bad thing because I think I just want.
I was just super relaxed.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's like a part of me that I'm also just like, whatever I have, like, whatever will be.
Yeah.
I've gotten to this point.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. Right. Like, I've gotten to this point with the wedding where there's been a lot of stress.
Yes.
And I've even told myself, even if we were getting married in the backyard, maybe there'd be more stress. But like, even wherever we were getting married, doesn't matter. However we were doing it, there's still going to be stress. So I'm just here. I'm just in it, and I'm riding the wave. Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. And I'm just sort of like, whatever will be. There's going to be things that are out of my control, and that's okay.
There always are. Yeah.
And yeah.
But the important thing is, you guys.
Yeah. We're like, we're talking about all these things that we want to do, like, but we're like these funny and weird things. So I'm excited for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be in keeping like with your personality. For
right.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. One thing that it's funny we're talking about this because I was just talking about this the other night. So like, actually somebody that found me through you, because you shared,
cool.
Like when you shared with the podcast or about me or whatever, so somebody like one of your clients, bought my tarot package.
I know exactly who it is because she messaged me. She goes, I got one. I was like, yay.
And so she goes, do you know what's funny though, is I had kind of asked my guides if this was the right thing for me, like, let me know. Did she tell you this?
No.
Okay. And she goes, and then I went on your website and you have sunflowers everywhere.
Aww.
And she's like, when Erin's done readings for me before, sunflowers come in. So we started talking about the spiritual significance of sunflowers for the both of us.
Wow.
And so for me, sunflowers have always been significant. They represent like safety and security for me. And so I ended up sharing this story with her, and I'll just share it with you because it's kind of an update because of that, how people find each other and how like, I'm waiting for a sign, and then that's my sign with the sunflower. So for my wedding, we had like, it was very, very small. Like the ceremony was just really like immediate family. It was very small. Like I said, it was in my in-laws' backyard, and we had chairs set out, and there was a sunflower placed on everybody's chair.
Nice. Yeah.
So I had like just gone to like Superstore, Loblaws. Like I didn't even I just bought sunflowers. We got married in August, so they were like in season and good. I just bought like a huge amount of them. And decorated with them myself. Nice. And so I started off like when I was walking down the aisle, I had 4 sunflowers in my hand for my husband and I, and we had 2 children at the time. So to represent the 4 of us. And then as I walked down the very short aisle, because like I said, there's only like, 15 people here. I collected a sunflower from each person as a way to like represent like their part of our story and like how they have added and created this day with us.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah, it ended up being a bouquet at the end.
Oh, I love that.
And do you know that I shared that somewhere? I don't know if I think I shared it on a story like years ago. And somebody that followed me messaged me, and she's like, I cannot believe that you did that because I did the same. Like, but she had like a big kind of church wedding, and she put a flower on the end of each like pew. And it was for the same, it wasn't a sunflower, it was a different flower, but it was the same idea of like then collecting it and making this symbolic
I'm going to tell that to my florist. I really, really actually love that.
You can do it. Maybe there's a reason that I told you this story today. If it resonates with you or anybody else that's listening and you want to do it, because
that's beautiful.
For me, I just thought it was so special. And the pictures are so special because I stop at the end and each person passes them and they hugs me. And, it's just very,
it's just nice.
It's really sweet. Yeah. So that's, for me, sunflowers are like very significant for me.
Oh, I love that story. Oh, I love it.
I love it too. So there's been like some crazy dreams happening on my end.
Yeah, you have to talk about these dreams.
Can I just ask, have you been having any like weird dreams?
No.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Like it hasn't, but I don't even remember them, but I feel like when I wake up, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. But I don't remember them, but I know that they've been
that reminds me of last night. Because like I woke up, I was dreaming when I woke up, like when the alarm went off, but like I know who was there in the dream, but I don't know what the dream was about. Like I can't remember those details.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring this up is because I've been having some pretty crazy dreams, but also I have this Facebook community that I created, like a private group that you're a member of. If any listeners are wanting to join it, it's a private group that I've created on Facebook as a way for like-minded community to share things. So people are like asking questions like, what do you guys do when, or do you experience this? And it's like actually like it's starting to come to fruition. Like people are starting to share and feel comfortable. And so it's like making my heart really happy because I really what I wanted.
It's so nice to see, right? Yeah.
The community. Yeah. So it's called the Intuitive Rising Community. So if anybody wants to join it, I like just request and I can let you in, but it's safe, inclusive space. But anyways, a few people were asking and they're like, can we talk about vivid dreams? Like, is anybody else having crazy dreams? And so I went live in there the other day and
it's coming up quite a bit.
Dreams.
Yeah,
it's coming up a lot. So I've had some pretty significant like crazy dreams.
What's one that you can?
Oh, I have like
share.
I have two that I can share, but then I like also have like other people dreaming of me and telling me about it, and I can share those too.
Yeah, isn't that kind of wild when that happens and people are like, it was so clear and you said this, or it was like, Alex has dreams about us all the time. But I never have, I do, but I feel like Alex has more dreams about us than I have about him and I.
Interesting.
Right?
Maybe that's just the way he's tapped in a little bit more.
Yeah,
like,
it could be.
Dream in your more like, environment, you know what I mean? Like you're practicing.
Yeah. Anyways.
You're awake.
Yeah.
Oh, the first one, I'll start with the one I'll share the one of the person that dreamt about me.
Okay.
So this is not the first time this happened. I've had clients, like previous clients. Like I had a client that I read 2 years ago that lives in Australia message me one day and go, so I dreamt of you last night, and like this is what I dreamt of. There's somebody else that's like messaged me. She's dreamt of me like 3 times in the last year. Just random. But this one that sticks out to me is about 2 weeks ago. One of my clients who lives in the UK messaged me, and she's like, Amy, I had to tell you this dream I had about you last night. And I was like, okay, like this is so exciting. Tell me.
Yeah.
So she's like, I was in your living room. So she's like, I'm assuming I like would have flown and visited you in some capacity. I don't know, but I'm in your living room and we're chatting, we're having a tea, like we're just like hanging out.
Yeah.
And there's monarch butterfly. You know the significance of monarch butterflies,
yes.
right?
Yep.
Significant. There's she didn't know this, I don't think. There's monarch butterflies floating around your head. Okay. And you are literally going, and like plucking them from the air, and they're gently like just you're like and you're talking to them, and they're like on you, and you are teaching me how to do that too.
Oh.
And I went, whoa. So I told her why monarch butterflies are significant. Like, so I'll let you guys in on the secret. It's not really a secret, but like that's been my most, like that's a spirit sign from my late uncle, and he passed away. He was the first person that passed away that was close to me in my life, like my first real experience with death. And he has come to me in that way for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like to the point, like I used to be a runner, and the last half marathon I ran, I was not really prepared for it. And it also was like an extremely humid day. It was in May, and it was like, we were expecting, like 20, and like, but for whatever reason, it was this fluke, like 42-degree day.
And Ontario, guys.
Well, this was in Nova Scotia.
Oh, it's in Nova Scotia? Okay, never mind.
So it's like highly humid, a lot of humidity in Nova Scotia because of the ocean.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm running, and during my last kilometer, I had I ended up with heat stroke, but I'm like, I don't think you can do it. Like, I'm going to pass out. Like, I can't do this. And the girl I was running with was like, Amy, there is a monarch butterfly on the back of your shoulder. I have a picture, and it is literally on the back of your shoulder as you are walking. And it stayed with me for the whole kilometer. I'm not joking. It was wild. And like, I could spend I could do a whole episode on why the monarch butterfly is significant. Like, that's how significant it is for me. So the fact that she brought that up, and the color and the type, and that I was like just plucking them out of the air. And so yeah, we kind of, both of us kind of took from this dream to mean that I was somehow helping her connect to her magic.
Because that's what I interpret that as.
Yeah,
1000%. Yeah.
That's amazing. Like how that would happen. So I wanted to share that because that just happened about 10 days ago. She reached out to me, and the synchronicity of that in itself was wild, because the night before that I was sick. So I just got over having like the flu. I was down and out for like 10 days.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was having a nap like one afternoon. It was like late afternoon actually. And I was like, I can't keep my eyes open. I had a fever. I'm just going to like take a nap on the couch. So I fell asleep. You know, when you like have those like fever dreams where it's like you fall asleep immediately and it's like very intense. So I fell asleep, and I instantly, like, I was dreaming about another like a person that you would know too, like another Instagram person.
Yeah.
And I was not involved in the dream. It was almost like I was just witnessing something.
Yeah.
And it was him, and he was working with somebody, and like things were coming up about it. And then I woke up, and so I was like, that's weird. So I messaged him, like I sent him a voice note on Instagram, and I was like, so I just took a nap, and like I had a fever, and like whatever. I had this dream about you, and I have to tell you about it. And he's like, okay, cool. Like, tell me about it. So I told him about it, and he's like, whoa, like you're still good when you're sick, because I literally dreamt of something that, like an interaction that I just had with somebody. And I was like,
so do you think, but Amy, do you think you astral traveled? Like, was it that specific?
Well, he didn't have the conversation. Like, it wasn't the time. Like, when I was sleeping, he was not having the conversation. It had happened like earlier in the day.
But it's, but wow, still.
But at the same time, like, if time and space doesn't exist,
maybe you like, did travel, right?
But it was very strange, and I was just like, okay, that's weird. And so we were chatting about that, and then I said, I was telling him how, like, in the past, other people had messaged me and said they had dreamt about me. And he was like, "That's really wild, Amy." And then the next day, that person messaged me with the butterfly dream. Like, she had had that dream that night. And I was like, the timing of that is, like, really crazy. Right?
Mind blown.
I
Yeah.
don't know what it is about certain times of year that make me feel like I have more vivid dreams. Like, I know that a lot of people will say, like, Scorpio season in general. Um, I sometimes I wonder about the timing, with, like, Halloween and,
Mm,
the veil, when
yeah.
people talk about all that stuff, like, that's during Scorpio season. So is it just that during certain times of the year we feel more
Maybe a little bit.
perceptive?
And I'm wondering too, like some of this, I think sometimes too, when we talk about astrology things,
Mhm.
like, yeah, I can definitely believe that the planets are aligned, or there's something to that. But I also think, like, collectively, if everybody is like, we're all experiencing these vivid dreams, this feels like the time, then like maybe that energy is just there, and that's what we're all
Right.
collectively tapping into.
But could that energy just be associated, like, we attach it to an astrological season because it seems to happen at the same time, and
Yeah,
it's not really
we
about the
could, and
planet?
that's why we start associating. Like, it's like, I
Yeah,
think why retrograde is so like, oh no, retrograde, and things
right.
happen. I think it's because
We associate it.
collectively we've associated retrograde with like things being off the rails.
And then if we really, like, last week we talked about manifestation, if we really think about manifestation, if we're collectively all thinking, "Oh, no, shit's gonna hit the fan, it's retrograde," shit will hit the fan.
Because let's think about this really. Like, in other universes, is there like such a thing as astrology and retrograde? Is that what they call it, or is it something different? Or I don't know. Some food for
I
thought.
don't know.
Is that just an earth thing? Is that our way to tap into magic? Is that our way to kind of collectively raise consciousness for the planet?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm going off
No.
the rails a
No,
bit,
these are
but
the things I enjoy talking about. Now, there's a show, I know I put it in my stories, I
oh,
recommended it for you.
yeah, I almost watched it last night, but I did not. Do you want to talk about it? Was it good?
Just briefly,
Yeah.
I'm not finished it yet, but there's this, like, docu-series on Netflix called Ancient Apocalypse. So
Yes.
I can't remember the guy's name in this moment, I feel badly, but he is, like, a journalist, whose topic of study, he
Yeah.
definitely likes to go down the rabbit hole, is about prehistory, like,
What? Yes.
before documented history, like, what is that all about? And so he stirred up a lot of feathers in the with
And
archaeologists, because they're like, no, like, this is the proof we have, this is history. So this docu-series is like, each episode he goes to a different place,
mm,
in which there's some sort of prehistoric site,
right.
um, that proves in some way that there was civilization, intelligent civilization, before
Yeah.
we think.
Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because, there's this kind of general
Mm-hmm.
belief that humans before a certain time would have been very archaic and like
Yeah.
cavemen and
Yes.
have,
Yeah.
not really been intelligent and like hunter and gatherer. But the things that they're finding and how they're being dated would suggest that that is not correct.
Mm.
So it's really interesting because it's history, and that's our jam,
Mm-hmm.
right? It talks about um things like that we don't know about yet that would be considered like, like, a lot of people are like, well, we don't believe that because it's not substantiated in some
Mm-hmm.
way, but it
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
also doesn't mean it's not true, right? So I think that's like why it's interesting to me too. But he, like, in each episode that I've watched so far, he kind of
Mm.
talks about, he gives a little bit of like the mythology around that particular culture where these
Wow.
things are found,
Yeah.
and the stories, and like how all of these myth I don't want to say myths, but all of these kind of this folklore, like these stories, all have very similar,
Mm.
like, they're all very similar.
Yeah.
So there's this like universal, it seems like there's this story about a giant or a giant, right? And
Yeah.
he kind of,
There's stories of giants, of people
yeah,
who
but
were.
he's kind of questioning, like,
Yeah.
was it actually a giant, or was it thought of as a giant because it offered such wisdom and
Mm.
intelligence,
Huh.
um to, like, it's almost as if there's like this idea that some sort of civilization would have taught the hunter and gatherers how to do what they're doing.
Right.
And then it all
and
happened.
then it all happened.
And agriculture and all those things happened. So yeah, if this is your
Interesting.
jam and you're interested, I mean, it's a docu-series, so it's not like if you're not into history, you might find it boring, but I personally find it very, very interesting.
I definitely want to check it out just to see,
Yeah,
just
I
even
think
like
you would
see.
enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, you know, we love going down that rabbit hole.
We
So.
love going down that rabbit hole, and it's like, yeah, I just find it very, very interesting, and how, you know, we just don't know everything that there is to know.
No, we
Because
don't.
the things that people are finding, like these sites are predating the Ice Age.
Mm.
So then it's like, okay, and then when he studies the cultural kind of mythology around this, in every single one, there is a story about a great flood. Okay.
Yes.
And right, which, like, the Ice Age, like the ocean waters rose, and, you know, everything was destroyed, but there was still people that survived, and then they would have rebuilt. So I just think it's interesting.
That made me think of a podcast that I was listening to, and I'm trying to see if I can find it.
Yeah.
But there's, I think, like, we didn't see. It's interesting that we're talking about it, because there's things that, like, we just don't know, right? That and we haven't, like, just because there's no evidence doesn't mean it doesn't exist, right? I mean, I think I'm trying to find it now, but somebody was talking on this podcast about, you know, we only saw, I think it was chimpanzees, like just over 100 years ago, like, or however long it was. I'm really not, like, please don't, I don't know the facts about it, guys, but there is something that, like, we just discovered primates at this time, right? And so if you can imagine, oh wow, here is this animal, right, that we're discovering, and that happens, like, all the time. Didn't they just discover, like, a sea creature that was, like, you know, or something that was thought to be extinct, and here it is? I feel like there's these things that happen, like, all the time. And I think it's this thing like Bigfoot, you know, or if there's only, you know, just because we haven't seen Bigfoot doesn't mean it doesn't really exist. You know, and if we're talking about, like, maybe there's only, like, you know, just a few like, however many Bigfoots, right, there are.
Yeah.
And they know how to hide. It's not like, it's like you're going in the forest. You're not going to run into a bear all the time, because they know how to hide. They know where they hibernate, right? So I feel like the same could theoretically apply to Bigfoot in a way.
Speaking of Bigfoot, have you watched the new season of Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I did.
So, you know, there's an episode.
And I know what are they called? They're called the Rangers. Would you watch that one? Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I can't remember what it's called, but that area in, like, New Mexico,
yes,
Colorado.
And there's these rangers in there. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. But they basically investigate the paranormal, and they talk about Bigfoot.
Yeah,
it's pretty. It's kind of wild. Like, and yeah, there's all these things. You know what? I love Bigfoot. I don't know why. I have a big little crush on Bigfoot. I think he's pretty cool, or she, or they, right? And there's all these conversations that we could have, and maybe I'm going to do a future episode on Bigfoot. I feel like I definitely want to. But there's all these, like, things that say that Bigfoot could be an interdimensional being, or, like, there's people that have experienced Bigfoot almost like a ghost, and, like, you know, things that there's UFO sightings that are reported when you see Bigfoot. You see these, like, lights, like these orbs. Anyways,
yeah.
Again, I could talk forever about this stuff.
We should do a whole episode on Bigfoot.
We really should.
We will do that in the new year for sure. Yeah. I just wanted to let you know, the journalist that I was just mentioning in that show, Ancient Apocalypse, is Graham Hancock. So he has written a bunch of books as well. He's a bit of a mover and a shaker. He's stirring the pot a little bit with the archaeology world. And I love it. There's always going to be somebody to stir the pot, right? There's always going to be somebody to go, hey, like, there's more than this. Let's, like, investigate this.
Change doesn't happen when we're comfortable.
Right. That's right.
So
yeah,
that's
and it makes me think, like, you know, everything, like, when you're talking about, like, you know, science is just the things that we've already proved, you know, but I feel like science is also about discovering things that we haven't proven. So I never really understand the argument that like there's no scientific proof of that.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but like that's the whole purpose of science, is to like find it.
Yes.
To like, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, like we would have been like at one time people would have scoffed if you said the world wasn't flat, you know, like it just the level that people were at that time based on their perceptions and their beliefs, and now it's very widely accepted that it is not flat, right? And I think that, you know, hopefully not hopefully in our lifetime,
yeah,
what we do will be substantiated
yeah,
in, you know, in the general public, because I just think it's life changing
it
if you think about
is.
it.
It is. Again, there's things that like
Yep.
I love how this podcast turned into like we're gonna catch up with each other and just chat. Just turned into like us going down the rabbit hole, but it's
This
great.
is what we do.
This is what we do.
We go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. I don't even know what I was gonna say, but I think it's just interesting that I think all of these things that have happened that we're discovering throughout history that we thought maybe, like for example, we thought the Earth was flat. Now we know it's round, right?
Right.
There's things that we're constantly discovering and we're constantly evolving as a species. So I feel like who's to say these things aren't real? Who's to say we're not going to get evidence or some proof of the existence of, you know, some supernatural phenomenon, or things we thought were supernatural, maybe they're not so supernatural. We're going to start to find evidence of that. I don't know.
Right.
You know,
right.
I feel like anything and everything is possible. And that is the beauty of the world that we live in, you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
It may be a messed up place, but it's still pretty beautiful and it's still pretty awesome. You just got to look for it.
I think sometimes it's messed up because we, you know, historically and still are trying to force and control and
we always try to explain. We always want to
sacred flow of there needs to be a little bit more yin with the yang, you know, like it's it's
a little bit of long, a little bit of something.
That reminds me of another Netflix show. We're just on the Netflix show. Sometimes I watch Netflix on my phone, and there's this thing called Triviaverse. So if you have the Netflix,
we were gonna do that last night, actually.
I've been playing it like in the morning when I'm having my coffee. So you got to do it on your phone or like iPad. Do it on the TV. But there was a question the other day I was doing it. And it was like, which name was not in Mambo number 5? And I got it wrong. And I'm like, damn, how didn't I know that? It was like Veronica, Pamela, like
going through the names.
And I'm like, hold on. But you have to do it so quick because it's rushed.
Oh.
You know what? I played a whole game of that where it's like, I'm not going to read the questions. I'm just going to hit the button based on where my intuition leads me. And I did pretty good.
Isn't that fun? Sometimes I do that with Candy Crush. And that.
Do you? Yeah. Let's just see. That's it. I mean, these are all tips in which you can, ways in which you can strengthen your intuition. It's good. Okay. Body, thumbs, you're going to tell me the answer.
Yeah. Go wherever I go.
Myself out of the equation. Where does this go?
Yeah.
I did better. Like, I think, but only like a little bit less. I only got a little less answers right when I did the intuitive way. So,
yeah.
They're pretty close is what I'm trying to say.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you guys so much.
I guess I should ask you, do you have anything to leave us with, like updates? We got the wedding update a little bit.
Oh, the wedding update. I'm going to try. I had a really great group reading. I did a group reading the other day where I kept it just pretty small. I think there was about 7 of us, or 8 of us, I guess, including myself, but 7 people doing group reading. And so I'm going to try to make more of these group readings a thing. So I'm going to try to do it monthly. I'm still kind of figuring out what I want to do with it, what it's going to look like. But it was really, really good. And it's so nice too, because like some people, they've been following you for so long and then all of a sudden they book a spot and you're like, oh my gosh, I get to like meet you, or I get, I do mini readings for them and I haven't, given a personal reading. So I'm like, oh, I see you all the time, or I give readings to you. It's so nice to put a face to the name. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's all. Trying to be a little bit more present with the business. So that is my Christmas goal.
Spend some more time.
Yeah. Yeah, things are slowing down a bit, so it'll be nice to get into it a bit more.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Bye.
Bye. If you like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and tune in each week as we dish on all things spiritual.
Don't forget to like, comment on what you would like to hear us talk about next, and subscribe.